down one more before. Alright, hi guys. So let's go ahead and talk about this quadratic word problem, and we'll jump into it. So we know all the different ways to solve a quadratic, and now we're going to use them in word problems. This question says, Kane jumped off a cliff into the ocean in Myrtle Beach while vacationing with some friends. His height as a function of time could be modeled by this equation right here, where t is the time in seconds and h is the height in feet. Kane hit the water after how many seconds? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is highlight or underline the question. So I'm trying to find out when Kane hit the water. The second step I'm going to do is read this sentence by sentence and start drawing a picture. It says Kane jumped off a cliff into the ocean in Myrtle Beach while vacationing with some friends. So I'm going to draw a picture. Here's some cliff. Here's a cliff. Okay, so Kane is, so here's Kane on the cliff. Hold on guys, let me draw my stick person a little bit nicer. They gonna get much better. But there's Kane on the cliff, and then it says he jumps off the cliff. So if Kane is gonna jump off of this cliff, that means he's gonna have a motion that looks like this, and then Kane is gonna end up down here in the water. So here's the water that Kane's gonna fall into. And it says his height as a function of time could be modeled by, okay, so as Kane is falling, there's an equation that can model this path that he's jumping off of. So when he jumps off, that red dotted line models the path that he went in. And if I wanted to mathematically find out how high he was at a certain time, I would use this equation right here that they gave us. So his height at a certain time would be negative 16t squared plus 16t plus 480. So if I use this equation and I put in the time, I can find out what height he's at as he's traveling to hit this water. All right. So it says where t is the time in seconds and h is the height in feet. So it says Kane hits the water after how many seconds? So they're asking us how long is it going to take him to hit this water? So how long is it going to take Kane to hit the water? So his height will be 0 when he hits the water. So I know h of t, which is his height, is going to equal 0 when he hits the water. And it's asking me how long is it going to take him to hit the water. So I need to find out what t is. Okay, so I need to find out what t is. This is a quadratic, and there's several ways to solve a quadratic. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go with the easiest way I know possible. That's not going to take me a lot of time. I'm just going to use the quadratic formula. So here I know my a is negative 16 because I need to solve for t in this quadratic. So I'm going to go to the quadratic formula. A is negative 16, B is positive 16, and C is 480. Okay, and then I'm going to use the quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Any test you're given will always give you this formula, so you don't really have to memorize it. You just have to look on the formula sheet to where the quadratic formula is at. And it can always be used to solve any quadratic. You just have to make sure you get the a, b, and c right. Alright, so I'm going to substitute in, and remember, anytime you substitute into an equation, you put the number in parentheses. So the negative was already there, and what we're putting in is going to go in red. B is positive 16, so I'm going to go to 16. Alright, and then plus or minus the square root of b squared, so I'm going to say put in parentheses 16, close parentheses, put the squared back, minus 4, Then I'm going to open my parentheses again. A, negative 16. B, A, and then C. All right. And then all over 2. And then whatever A is negative 16. All right. So X equals, and then you can use your calculator. This is the same thing as negative 1 times 16. So that's positive 16 plus or minus the square root of, I'm going to get the math for the discriminant part. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to graph my calculator. And you can click on Desmos on your PDF. I'm going to go find mine. So here's my Desmos scientific calculator. And then I'm just going to flip back and forth and see what I need. 16 squared minus 4. Okay. So parentheses 16. And I'm typing in exactly what I see. Squared minus 4 times negative 16 times 480. So this is my discriminant part. Let me make sure I got it all right. Yep. And then I'm going to push enter on that. That's 3,976. Okay. So here, what? That's not 3,000. I think that's 30,976. All right. So 30,976 all over 2 times 16 is going to be negative 32. Okay. And then from here, we need to go and see. We have to go do some side work and break down. And we know since this discriminant is greater than 0, this quadratic is going to have 2 x-intercepts, and it is going to be real roots, and it's going to cross it twice. And I don't know if the roots are going to be rational or irrational at this point. We're going to get ready to find out. So we need to take the square root of 30,976. So I'm going to go back to my calculator. I'm just going to go ahead and put in and see if that has a square root. Square root of 30,976. And I might get lucky. Yay! It does have a square root. So it's 176 times 176. So, and I'm going to check that just to make sure I'm good. So 176, 17, oh my gosh. 176 times 176. Yep, 3976. So we got lucky. That was just a regular square root. So it's 176 times 176. And we don't need to break this down any further because we got a pair. So the square root of that is 176. So I replaced that part with 176. My side work I took care of. And then over negative 32x. So here we're going to go use our calculator to help us get the roots. So we're going to say 16 plus 176 over negative 32. And then we need to go and do 16 minus 176 over negative 32. Alright, so I'm going to go back to Desmos and I'm going to push my fraction key. So now it's negative 16 plus 176. Divide that into negative 32. And we get negative 5 for one of the sides. Oh wait, I forgot the negative, guys. I left it off in the beginning, so make sure you be careful with that negative sign. This should be negative, babies. So be careful. And these are typical mistakes. So just be careful. So x equals -5 here. And then I'm going to go in and put the negative sign right here. So I'm not retyping all of that. I'm just tap right there. Take that off and go and put the negative sign there instead. And I get +6. So x equals -5 and x equals +6. So now I'm going to go back up to my picture because I have that I have 2 times. I have -5 seconds and I have -6 seconds. So if I go up here and I think about it, this is telling me that the negative time means that we're going backwards. And really time can't be negative. So in this case, when he jumps off, time moves forward. So when he jumps off this cliff, he's going to hit the water in 6 seconds. So the negative answer cannot be your answer here because time is not going to go backwards. Time is going to go positive. And he's traveling forward. So if he travels forward, that means his time should be getting big. It should be a positive number as he's traveling forward. So the answer to this question is it will take Kane 6 seconds to hit the water. And you're done. So it will take him 6 seconds to hit the water if he jumps off that cliff. And we're finished. And guys, what I want to tell you about math, remember math has ways of helping you to get an answer, but you as the human have to decide which answer makes sense. And this is a case where we had to decide, does -5 make sense or does +6 make sense? Okay, y'all have a good one, babies.